I want to first give a shout out to Southern Discomfort and many others such as Amy Winehouse who have quoted or supported the themes, "Hey Fred, F that rehab, shut your mouth." I know that a lot of people don't want rehab or help with their addiction. They really don't care about being in treatment. They often find ways to beat the system, but the reality is that a lot of people suffer from the many faces of addiction. As early as 1700 in American history, many people have relied, supported, and encouraged the use of psychoactive drugs. So, what do the faces of addiction look like? They vary from young children to old adults. There are many faces. Some of the primary drugs of use are alcohol, cocaine, a host of opiates, marijuana, meth, crack, rave drugs and many others. In 1956 the American Medical Association classified alcoholism as a disease. Shortly after that, all the other drugs, cocaine, opiates, marijuana, meth, and crack met similar classification criteria. Addiction as a primary disease means that it's chronic, progressive, fatal. It is characterized by a loss of control and increased tolerance. So let me take a moment to clarify. Addiction is a state in which the organism engaged in compulsive behavior that is reinforced. The behavior is highly rewarding or pleasurable, then, the organism loses control. Loss of control is observed as unmanageability. The inability to stop using the drug once an organism finds what makes them happy take on a self-destructive course. Research showed that addiction is activated through the reward pathways. Once a person's brain is hijacked, neurotransmitters such as norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin is affected. Once activated by substances such as alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, opiates, we are headed for chaos. The substance use become a part of the person's survival. Each substance has a specific site that is activated when we use the drug. Alcohol has a site. Cocaine has a site. Heroin has a site. Nicotine, cigarettes has a site. Dark chocolate has a site. Sex has a site. Now to fully understand the pathology of addiction, we must study the essential nature of the disease, especially the structural and functional changes produced by each substance. The pathology of addiction has a multitude of signs and symptoms that affect a person's well-being. Holistic developments, which are key life areas, are abandoned. This includes psychological, physiological, and spiritual development. Although many people don't want to be in treatment, there are several negative symptoms clinicians measure, then suggest if you want to do anything about your current life. So, if a person is suffering from addiction, they may want to look at the different phases of addiction with a moderate degree of honesty. Another interesting phase of addiction is tolerance. Tolerance is a state in which the organism no longer responds to the known effect of a drug. Sometimes that involves taking larger amounts of the drug to get the same previous high. Another interesting phase of addiction is dependency. Dependency is a state in which the organism functions normally in the presence of a drug. However, one can recognize the phase of addiction when you remove the drug. Then you start seeing manifestations of psychological, physical, and spiritual disturbances. Dysfunction at home, at work, legal issues, financial issues, and dope-sick symptoms are called withdrawal symptoms. Although many people don't want to face treatment or seek professional help, I'm here to help people understand what addiction looks like and how they can find their way back home. So, one might say, "Hey Fred, F that rehab stuff." In reality, if one wants to transcend the many faces of addiction, he or she needs to have a clear understanding of what they need to do to overcome the pathology of addiction. One needs to get honest, know what he or she has been doing, what he or she is feeling. Lastly, one must face why his addiction is causing him/her to act in certain negative ways. Maslow's theory of human motivation states that many people become addicted because they are trying to meet a humanistic or hierarchy of needs. Transcendent, self-actualization, authentic needs or esteem needs, love and belonging needs, safety needs, physiological needs. In our society, we know that if an organism, the human being, cannot meet a need through internal means, he would seek out external means to meet those needs, and that's where the use of alcohol, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, meth comes in. When we cannot meet our needs, then we start seeking external things to meet our needs, and often leads to addiction. Also, for you people who don't want to be in treatment, I want you to know that the phases of addiction also have 3 stages. They are early, middle, and late stages. In early addiction, you only lose a little bit of wellness, in middle addiction you have more problems related to using, and in late addiction you generally have severe problems. That's when dependency intolerance kicks in. You're gonna find yourself doing more of the drug, preoccupied with finding a means of getting the drug. There's one interesting point I want to bring out here. Some people are predispositioned to the many phases of addiction. That means that some people are born predisposed to the disease of addiction, and they may move swiftly from early addiction to late stages of addiction in a short period of time. However, even if a person is predisposed to the disease of addiction, they will not contract the disease if they limit the amount and kinds of substance they ingest. These people understand that they do not have to use substance to change various moods. So, if you don't use alcohol or abuse any kind of mood-altering drugs, you are less likely to become addicted. If you ever use, however, you can move through the stages quickly. If you don't want to be in rehab, you might want to pay attention to the pathology of addiction. Here is a list of some negative symptoms: denial, loss of a job, problems with family, depression, increased tolerance, grandiosity, blackouts, unreasonable, increased resentments. So, my response back to all those "I don't want to go to rehab" songs: if you don't want to face addiction, you might want to do something about it, and here are some of the things that you can trust. Break through denial early. Do not be egotistical or anything like that. Work with your professionals, don't be the Lone Ranger. Work within your dimensions. Get a clinical evaluation. Follow your personalized treatment plan. Ask for case management services if needed. Get family and your community engaged. Get education. Yes, I know you do not want to be in treatment, but I want to encourage you to stay if possible so you can get the help you deserve. There is nothing worse than losing a good person to alcohol and drug use. Give yourself a break and listen to your authentic self. Lighten up on yourself. If you disqualify yourself from the phases of addiction, you will add some bleach to your urine, not take responsibility for your decisions, and not face the true horrors of your addiction. I want to encourage you to get in treatment, understand the phases of addiction, and keep down the negative symptoms of addiction. My song goes like this. Hey you might want to look at the face of addiction. Hey you might want to look at your addiction. Hey you might want to get back into rehab. Hey you might want to get back into treatment. Hey you might want to break free. Take control of your gremlins. Don't blame the system. It's a mind thing, baby. If you or someone you know have an alcohol or drug problem, please contact www.needed.org, www.sfsa.org, your local community mental health center, National Drug Helpline, 24/7, 1-844-289-0879.
Hi, this is Fred. If you like this video, make sure that you hit that like button below. Also, share this video with your friends. Leave me a comment in the comments section. Please subscribe to my channel or visit my website at www.StensonEnterprisesinc.com for more information on training and services. Keep it real, and I will see you next time.